Hey, it's time for a WordPress video. We are going to talk about full site editing and LMS. We're going to design an LMS with a full site editing theme. We're going to use Sky Pilot and like if you're using 2024, 2025 or like whatever theme that uses full site editing, the tutorial will roughly apply. So yeah, you might not have all the components because I'll be building a LifterLMS website, but you'll see how like the header builder works and how the footer builder works and how to build layouts and stuff. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to be working with Canva and WordPress. So, got my WordPress website here. I've got the most secure credentials in the world. We have a blank WordPress install here. We're going to use full site editing. What I want to highlight is that full site editing uses this appearance editor region, and it looks all new and crazy, but it's not super difficult. You have a navigation area where you can edit your menus. You have styles, which are going to be like global items across your whole website. And then you have pages. I guess it's a list of your pages, the same thing you could find right here under pages. You know, basic stuff. Templates and patterns. That's where it's going to get really complicated. Templates are layouts that we can apply to courses, layouts that we can apply to lessons. So we're going to be using LifterLMS Sky Pilot, but you can see the stock WordPress theme has the same capabilities that Sky Pilot does, as well as patterns. Patterns are like these predefined layouts where you can add them in and shift around your pictures and text to build the website a little bit faster. But you can also sync data between multiple parts of your website. If you have like a pattern on the home page and a pattern on a lesson page and you update it in one place and it's a synced pattern, it will update in both places. We'll talk about all that. I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to get LifterLMS installed and get my Sky Pilot theme on here. Be right back. So the Sky Pilot theme from Lifter is what we're going to be using because we're going to be using LifterLMS. If you're doing something with LearnDash or Sensei LMS or another LMS, you know, you might be able to get some things that would apply from this tutorial, but I have paid for, downloaded, and installed LifterLMS Sky Pilot. You just go to Appearance Themes, add a theme, upload a theme, and then LifterLMS will give you a zip file that you upload that zip file for the download if you pick that up on their website. So I just uploaded my own custom theme from this paid store. So yeah, Sky Pilot's on here. It's not going to look much different. It looks like a little bit different, but it's super basic. But you can see that when we go to Appearance Editor, we have like the same options. And the cool thing about full site editing is that you go from Sky Pilot to 2025 or whatever, you migrate themes in the future, it's going to be the same editor. And that's the really cool thing about full site editing. So let's do some basic WordPress setup. Let's build a home page. Home. There we go. We built a home page. Let's assign that in the reading settings, a static page. We're going to set a home page. So that's settings, reading, and you can assign a home page. And then when we hit the front of our website, we see home. And so I can edit my page by clicking on the top, edit page, but I can also go to pages on the back end, all pages, and edit right here. So two places. Pages, see your list of pages, or just view the front end of the website, click edit page at the top. Either way, we're here, blank homepage, let's build something. This is where patterns come in. It's going to be really cool. So we click on this little plus icon in the upper left corner, and this gives us blocks that we can work with. Paragraph, heading, code. You can write like some HTML. Embed a video or something from like bunny.net, whatever you want to do. But patterns make the process of building faster. A lot of times what my clients will do is they'll come into Canva or they'll pay a designer who's working in something like Canva. They will lay out the graphic assets for what they want. What is this? I'm not opening Canva on my desktop. Stop that. We can build like little like layouts and stuff of like, we want our homepage to look like this. We got a heading, we have a button in the middle, and then a cool background picture with some trees. stuff like that, they'll pay a designer to spend a lot of time on this. I've been whipping up a lot of websites lately where we just spend like a little bit of time here. But basically, if we want to design a homepage after this layout, we could get rid of some of those elements, share, download, a JPEG. I'm on premium. I think I'm on a free trial. You can get 30 days of Canva free. Emily. Okay. I'm going to take a quick pause. I'm going to clear my downloads folder so that I can display my downloads folder on screen. Be right back. Okay. So I downloaded my untitled design. I accidentally downloaded both pages, but that's okay. So when we're building a site from scratch, we could put on maybe a group. The group could be a single column group. We'll get to patterns in a moment, but just know that they're there. One way you can build is by having your group pop out this little panel, the settings panel on the upper right hand side. This allows you to modify the settings for the block that we're looking at in the center of the page here. Right now we're using a group. A group is like a combination of blocks. If you get confused as to what your page layout is, click the document overview. It shows you kind of like a hierarchy of what's going on. So on the left we have our hierarchy, in the middle we can see what we're working with, and on the right we can see some page settings and some block settings. But block setting, background, picture, background image, that's what I want. Background image. Add a background image. Media bin. I don't think I have anything in here, so what we can do is drag and drop my picture I exported from Canva. I do recommend compressing your pictures and not just uploading JPEGs. But for the sake of tutorials and speed, let's just throw in some JPEGs. This isn't a real website. Put on a heading, and we have some space, trivia game, and a button. Trivia game. We'll get some styling down in a moment, but conceptually we're just trying to build a little area for ourselves. Boop, boop, on the home page. I'll show you how to apply this to templates soon too. So let's view our changes. The view box when you're editing is in the upper right corner. It's the little view page there. When you click save, sometimes there's a black pop-up that says view page, but it's always going to be right here in the corner for you. This doesn't look great, but bear with me. Center align. Now it looks better. But you can kind of see how we're building out what we need to here. We could align a little buttons item to the middle and say play game. We could mess with the settings for our button. The client had like a gray with like a black text or something. And then I think they had a border on it too, like a 2 pixel, something like that. And we could really get into the nitty gritty on this. They have a custom font. I wouldn't worry about custom fonts, but we can worry about that if we'd like to. Let's see, trivia game, something like that. We can just keep modifying this over time and making it better and better. But one thing you'll notice is that maybe we want this to go edge to edge. Like this is the complete scope of the website, and what we're looking at right now is like boxed into what looks like from the left side here to the right side looks like 900 pixels or something. This is where editing the page isn't going to be enough, and this is where full site editing comes in for part 1 of full site editing. What we're going to do is go into the editor, appearance editor, this place we've seen before. We're going to go to a template and figure out what template is applying to our homepage. When we edit our homepage and we click on the little page icon, we can see a template has been chosen somewhere. Pages, there it is. Template is pages. So then when we're in our full site editor, we can say if we want to edit the width of our homepage, we can edit the pages template. So let's find the pages template. There it is, this one. So it's gonna give me a little tutorial, but basically we are seeing a template that applies to pages automatically, but we can also choose to apply it to something like a blog post, because you can change the template that's applied to your item. So we actually have a Hello World blog post. Let's edit that one. If we wanted to, we could say single posts. We can show template. That's not what I wanted to do. No, not create new template. Maybe you want to do that, but what I want to do is edit template. I don't know how to change those. Let's figure it out. My template is single post. I want to edit template and see what the conditions for displaying this are. Boop. Displays single post on your website unless a custom template has been applied to a post or dedicated template exists. So let's try to make a custom template for Hello World. Let's say like we have a lot of blog posts and we do not want the template to appear this way. We can create a new template. Blog post 2, Emily's template. Emily's template. Great. So save that. Okay. So we have our custom layout. Let's see if we can make it apply real quick to the blog post. If I edit Hello World, it's using blog post 2. Okay, see, we get a new option. Even this confuses me. You got to play around with this thing. So then I guess I can use default template, or like if I use default template, I can probably change the template. You got to have a template built first. Just learning this. But then we can choose Emily's template, and it qualifies for applying to a blog post. When we are in our appearance editor, we can see once again in templates, I should have my new one in here. There it is, blog post 2, Emily's template. So now we have 2 variations of templates that could be applied to a blog post. So that's cool. And the same would work for pages. So if I want my home page, I can say change template, and maybe I could do full width because there's already a full width one. Let's see what full width looks like. So my template is now full width on my home page. Let's reload and no, view page. Let's see, a little bit wider. It's not completely all the way across, but we're headed in the right direction. What we might want to do is edit the full width template. This is where the strategy of how you're deploying full site editing comes into play in a big way. Because, you might have like some pages are full width, but they have like a little bit of margin on the side. Like what we're looking at here is like 50 pixels between the edge of this and like the left side of the page. So you might want some of your pages to look like 50 pixels margin, and you might want some of your pages to be edge to edge. So you have to think about it in advance. Do I want my full width template? Do I want to edit the template that's already there, or do I want to create a new template for what I'm trying to do? In most cases, I recommend creating a new template for what you're trying to do. And so in the spirit of that, let's edit my homepage. Let's look at a template. Let's create a new template. This is Emily's full width. Really full width. Like we're going edge to edge. Width. I can't spell my own name right. And so now we are editing Emily's full width template that will apply to the homepage. So here we have our items. We have our, let's look at our document overview. We have a site title. We have a tagline, which is blank. We have a title, which is inside of a group. This looks a little unnecessary. I don't know why there's groups nested within groups, but really the document overview is such a go-to for me. Content, the content block. So the content block will display what is on the homepage. So stick with me. I know this is kind of confusing, but we're trying to like sort all this out. When we create templates for lessons in LifterLMS, this will all become really easy. So the content block right here. I have too many tabs open. This one. The content block. It's going to take anything within this area, anything I'm editing. So I have a picture with a group here and code. It's going to take, this is all the content of my homepage. Because remember, we can apply a template to multiple pages, so it will dynamically pull in whatever the content is for that page. So the content block. Let's make the content block full width. And so to do this, we're going to have to mess around with the settings because it's all wacky and crazy. Let's just turn this one off and save it and see what happens. So I took off inner blocks, use content width. It doesn't matter what that means. Let's just, boom, look, it's edge to edge. We have 0 pixels. And so basically we're headed in the right direction. And then we can take that edge to edge template that has now been created and applied to the homepage. If you see, let's reload. the template the homepage is using is Emily's full width template. And I can edit that template once again under Appearance Editor, Templates. I can see I did a blog post template a minute ago, and I should also have Emily's full width template. No, really, it's a full width template. So yeah, if I wanted to create a new page, and this is like another full width page, we can apply the template from Pages, change template. We're going to do Emily's full width, no, really full width. That template is going to apply to this page as well. So then when we have content, let's put some content in here, some captivating content. The layout of the page will go edge to edge because of the template that I've applied to it. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about that. That's how templates work. They apply to pages and stuff like that. Patterns can be a part of templates if you want, like this patterns area. I'm editing the Emily's full width template right now. I can include a pattern within a template, or I can include a pattern within the post content for that individual post. So you have your templates that could apply to multiple posts, and you have your post content that applies to only that individual post, like a homepage or a blog post or something like that. You can think about it as each item in WordPress has its own little content area, but each item in WordPress also uses a template. Let's get into LifterLMS and talk a little bit more about how this applies to LMS site owners. And then we'll do a cool design. So something more sophisticated than this. Activate. Let's go through the setup wizard real quick so it can create some pages. I get started. I do page setup. US dollars is fine. Don't collect my data. Give me a sample course to import. Import courses. So let's just save this. LifterLMS makes the back end of our website have more things on it, like courses and memberships and stuff like that. So the beginning of the tutorial, right, is full site editing as a framework, and now we're going to take that framework and apply it to LifterLMS, because LifterLMS is courses. Courses contain lessons, and my little quick start course, as you can see, quick start course, view the course, has a bunch of lessons. That's just automatically because I imported this course. But a new lesson is usually created by going to courses, add a new course, Emily's course. If you're familiar with LifterLMS, this is all going to make sense to you. If you're not familiar with LifterLMS, let me know in the comments below and I can make a tutorial on that. But basically, we usually go into the course builder. If you're editing a course, there's the course builder. It's at the top there and on the right here. We can create some new lessons, give them titles and stuff like that. That's usually how lessons are created. But yeah, courses, lessons, memberships, they now exist. And if we go to Appearance Editor, templates, we should see that there's more templates that LifterLMS has brought in. As a plugin, it brought in more options for courses and memberships automatically. There's a course catalog layout template. There is a single assignment template. LifterLMS has assignments. LifterLMS has single course, single lesson. So these templates, it's sneaky because in the background, these are automatically applied to your courses. So if we were to edit a course like Emily's course, we can see, oh no, I have low battery. Oh, what's my battery like? 10%. 10%. I don't want to shut down. I have more things to say, please. Come on. Problem solved. So Emily's course uses a template single course. So just like a page uses a template and post, everything uses a template. Courses also have templates. Lessons, if we find a lesson post and view it or edit it, that's me from a long time ago. And then template single lesson. So we can see that our that I'm completely lost in my own back end. We can see that appearance editor templates, we can see that there's single course layout, there's single lesson layout, and that these layouts have automatically been applied to these posts because LifterLMS just automatically configures it that way to try to make it easy, but it ends up being a little bit confusing for people who try to edit them. But just like you can create a second template for your pages or blog post, you can also create a separate template for your lessons. So you can say Emily's cool lesson layout. I do recommend having a naming convention for your templates because it will help you later. I'm just spitballing Emily's cool lesson layout, but what I would probably call it is like full width lesson layout or quick start course lesson layout. If one of your courses has a lesson layout that is different than other courses, you know, you have a template that applies to all the lessons of that one course. Maybe name the template after the course. I don't know. You can change the names of the templates, so it doesn't really matter. But have a solid naming convention and don't just wing it. I'm trying to do just a conceptual demo. We'll get into something serious in a moment. So this is my custom lesson layout. Let's do full width. Let's open our settings again. We're not doing this inner blocks use content layout. Save. Now that Emily has a cool lesson layout, I can see, I wonder if template is an option to view here. It's not. It would be cool if on this view you could see what templates apply to what courses, but you can't. You have to edit the lesson and then look here how this lesson is using the cool lesson layout. And if I go back, this lesson is using the single lesson layout or template. If we view both of those, we can see the difference. This is Emily's cool lesson layout, edge to edge, right in your face, and this is the LifterLMS one that came out of the box. You can see the LifterLMS one that came out of the box is styled up a little bit more. If we wanted to take customization of our layout to another level, I recommend conceptualizing this in Canva. Or a third-party software. What do you want your course layout to look like? I know this is probably not going to give me what I want, but basically we'll put a video. Let's do a video. I would like a photo of a video. This. Okay. Let's build a little asset real quick. So this is my video, lesson video, and this is going to be like a rough mock-up. If you have a competitor who you like the layout of, or an online course site who you like the layout of, you can probably mimic that layout. But let's imagine I have my lesson video. I'm going to group my components. I'm going to put a little border on my components to make it look official, put a little curve on it, a little corner rounding. So my lesson video is this little item. Now, this layout here has the title of the lesson. So, no, come back. There we go. Title of lesson. And then it has the lesson videos kind of like this. Now I'm just confusing myself with all these tabs. Let's close this down. It has the back to course URL. It has a sidebar over here on the right hand side. Sidebar. And the sidebar contains a lesson syllabus. So then maybe we could have a syllabus. Syllabus. Give me the rotator. Something like this. This is just a terrible, you know what? Why don't we do something creative and go like this? And then what we can do is just import to Canva the asset I just took a screenshot of. And then that'll look more normal instead of a sideways picture of a syllabus. Background is white. Stuff like this. So you can see we are conceptualizing the layout that Lifter has here. We have a Mark Complete button and then some resources beneath the Mark Complete button. we can conceptualize this to any level of detail that we want. I have a lot of clients who come to me, they conceptualize the layout they want, and then we make it happen within WordPress. But if you are watching this video, you might be making the layout and deploying it yourself. So whether you have a screenshot of a competitor's layout or whether you have your own layout, let's implement one. Someone brought up to me recently, I don't even know if I still have the photo of that they sent me, but they had like an icon list for like the student dashboard. It did not look like that. It looks like little icons. Sidebar. I don't know if they're gonna have anything that looks like this. Looks like Buddy Boss's sidebar. What they wanted to do, can I have a picture of a sidebar? Mute. Okay, here we go. Okay, boom, right here. So it has like this little layout, little icons, put them in, something like this. So they wanted a layout that comprised of a little sidebar. They wanted a layout that featured the same things you might normally see, along with the sidebar of the lesson materials over here. I think this is a good example of what we can build a template out of, because this sidebar item here doesn't usually exist. But since we conceptualized it in Canva, we can try to build it in WordPress. So let's imagine this is the layout we want to build. We have something that's pretty close already, and if we didn't, we could click Edit Site at the top. It takes us right into the single lesson template, or whatever template we were looking at. We were looking at a lesson that was using the single lesson post template, so we click Edit Site and it takes us right to that template. It's confusing. It's like, if you want to edit the template, click Edit Site. If you want to edit this individual lesson, click Edit Lesson. Just kind of got to learn to navigate your way around. But what we want to do is look at the group in the middle here. It contains a 2-column layout. If I increase the size of my screen, 2-column layout, we have our column here and our column here. What we're probably trying to do is add an additional column. Let's duplicate it, and then this first column here probably comprises 10% width, something like that. Within this column, we don't need a title and we don't need the post content. Let's delete it and clear it up a little bit. Be careful. Don't delete your post content block. It's just giving me a warning. I have a post content block right here, so we're good. The column, let's give it a little gray background just so we can differentiate. And then a spacer so that we can see if our spacing is right. See what we got. What am I looking at? What am I looking at right now? Let's go to a lesson though. Courses, view course. I don't have any lessons on this course. This course, this is probably using the single lesson layout. Okay. So we have this sidebar that kind of scales our page. For now, this is probably good enough for us to start fitting content into. So the content that exists within this sidebar is, this is a little collapse and expand icon. I think that's sign out. I think that this little 3 lines at the top is a collapse and expand. I don't think you can really collapse and expand in the WordPress editor out of the box. There's tools like Spectra blocks. There's tools like Cadence blocks. You can use these like packs of blocks and whatever you find on the internet to build weird layouts. In a future video, we can talk about that. But they have like free versions and pro versions, and maybe there's a demo somewhere. This one doesn't seem, oh, try live demo. I'm not gonna give you my email. Watch a video. This isn't. Cadence blocks is another option. You can find both these plugins in the back end of your website. So if you're trying to do something funky, like an expand and collapse on the sidebar to make it go from a 10% width to like a 30% width with words next to the icon, that is possible. I know Buddy Boss does that somehow. Like if you click on the, I don't know if this tutorial they expand the sidebar. Just trust me, this little white icon, if you click that, it like expands and says like user dashboards, statistics, notifications, it expands. For now, let's imagine that we're purely doing icons. But yeah, spectra cadence blocks can help you do some weird stuff. Let's imagine we're just doing icons. So beneath our spacer, we're going to put in an icon, not a social icon. What is this nonsense? What is this icon? Add the plus button. Icon. Social. That's all we have. Let's install Spectra. No, don't leave. I was talking about it. Let's do it. Let's get it something that works here. For giving me an icon option. Serious. You gotta install Spectra to get an icon. I mean, thank God there's Spectra. So that's here now, and if we were to save and reload my template, do a slash, and when you're doing your blocks, you can either click in the upper left corner, little plus icon, or you can do a / and start typing, and it'll narrow it down. So / and start typing is a little shortcut. See, they have an icon. When you install these block plugins, they give you like these extra options, like Spectra, you can see as a label here, and it gives us like a countdown timer and other things that we could do. We could put a countdown timer here. And then we can set a date, an end date. This is nonsense. But basically, the icon is now an option to us thanks to Spectra. The icon, maybe for user dashboard, would be like a person. Wow, there's a lot of options. Human. Silhouette. Business, communication, design, education. I want a guy with a hat. Graduate. Okay, sure, good enough. Graduate icon. And over here on the right side, we can have a link on this icon. The link, maybe we imagine it's to the LifterLMS student dashboard. This is a horrible layout. We'll fix that in a future tutorial, but dashboard, we'll copy the link to our dashboard. We can drop it in so that when students are on a lesson that is using the, so we're on a course, we can design a template for the course as well, but we go into a lesson and we have our little icon. If we click the icon, it takes us to the student dashboard because we linked up a little icon. And this layout looks scrunkly. I know it is not a great layout. So we can fix that a little bit by adding some information to the column. I do recommend the document overview if you get confused. The information I want to put on the column is maybe a 2-pixel border with a 10-pixel radius. The background probably doesn't need to be so aggressive. It can probably be kind of like a little more lighthearted than a dark gray. Something like this. And now we're headed in the right direction. If you want to do an expand and collapse, you may be able to do that, but we could also put maybe like a little text here, like some text, dashboard. Is there an icon box? Icon info box, icon list. Let's try icon list. This one might be good for a menu too. If you want to place individual icons and link up individual icons, you could do so, but we could also do the graduate icon. Oh, you can only do a single icon for an icon list. Yeah. Oh no, we can mess it up per item. Okay, graduate. List item. This one is supposed to be a book. It's a course, maybe. And then this one, we have a student dashboard, we have a course, and we have a cat. Okay, so let's mess with our style a little bit. Can we change the entire list setup to say that, can I do vertical? No, that's not good. Icon alignment top, middle, after presets. I want the icon to be like above the words. I don't know if that's possible. Don't prove me wrong. Hide labels. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't know if the icon list is what I'm looking for. But if we imagine that this column maybe takes up 20% width, becomes a little more reasonable. Let's put some padding on here, like some side-to-side padding, like that. Safe. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, well, a little bit better. Let's mess with the icon list, increase the style of the icons. That's a little too big, but like something like this. This list item is going to be a, how I added this dashboard. This is course, and this is cats. You can have your own options there. I'm going to leave an example at the top and then put a separator between them so we can see kind of our two options for how we could lay this out. Dashboard, course, cats. There should probably be some more spacing between them. So if we were to say gaps between items, maybe it's 25. And then save that. Looks a little more spaced out. Each of our individual items can link to the dashboard. So this would be dashboard, links to my student dashboard. This one links to a course. Let's get a link to the course. This is back to the course link. Let's copy that and drop it in back to the course. And then the cats page. The cats page is important. What we're going to do is pages, add new here. And instead of cats, it might be like an upsell with cats. Let's go to Canva to get a picture of a cat. Or maybe there's a design that involves a cat that I can kind of bump off of. This is perfect. This is great. Please buy some private coaching. And then we'll have like a little button. Something like that. Something like this. Okay, so did I do a new page? Cats upsell. So we have our cats upsell. Please buy some private coaching. Download as a JPEG. Download that to my computer. Let's build our page. So this should have a group maybe, and the group probably should be like a 2-column layout. We can see it's going to create us a row. That's fancy. Image, we'll do a little image, we'll go to our media bin, we'll go to our downloads folder, and it once again downloaded a folder because it has all 4 pictures in it, but compress your JPEGs before uploading them and turn them into WebPs preferably. Here we go. Please buy some private coaching. Baton, buy now. And honestly, what are we doing? We could design something better. No, come above the row. Row, go vertical. Buy now. Let's add some text. And we can do all kinds of copywriting stuff. If you have any questions in the comments about like, how do I do copywriting? That we could do like, please. Let's ChatGPT. Hey, I'm trying to write some copy for an upsell in my course. Can you give me 3 descriptions for a upsell page and call to action with a hook? Let's see what it gives us. You can really cook on your copy as long as you want to, but let's see what it gives us. You feel like you've hit a wall? Get the VIP Accelerator Pack. Yes, I have hit a wall. Oh no, don't put the heading there. This row layout is a nightmare. Destroy the row layout. Destroy the row layout. It's not even worth it. Heading, and then this is like, are you hitting a wall? Do you want to buy some coaching? Upgrade now and unlock something. Wonderful. Don't even need to read it. I'm happy. And then the call to action with a hook. Yes, give me the VIP Accelerator Pack. I like that one. I like the first one. So this is like maybe a private coaching upsell that exists within your course, but you could style it up however you want to. You now know how to use templates, so you could build like a really customized page for this. I'm spending way too much time on the upsell, but it features cats, and so it's worth it. The only thing that bothered me is that there was not enough space at the bottom of the page. A little spacer. View page. Like that. Yes. Okay, upsell with cats. Back to the task at hand, or what I was doing. We were here editing the single lesson layout, the cats. Let's see, so we have our cats page, which is our upsell. We have our course. We need a course link. We got a course link, so we're probably good. So now if you go to the student dashboard, you're here. And if you go to the course, you're here. And if you go to the cats, you see the upsell for the, maybe it's a membership. Maybe in LifterLMS you make it a membership, but we can control the layout. We could choose to do it with an icon list from Spectra. We could choose to do it with individual icons, also from Spectra. We would just have to duplicate this item, assign a different URL down here to this icon, and then change the icon to something like the book. And then we would have kind of a user experience built out in a way that is similar to our Canva layout with the icons. And you do kind of have to adapt what you're building into a framework that works in WordPress. But that being said, you do have a lot of flexibility and creativity when you know how to use it. So for the column, let's add a little top and bottom spacing. Reload. So it looks kind of like this. We could keep building. We could make this whole column not so, like there's a lot of white space down here. If we wanted to absolve that, we could. But this is a layout that I see frequently asked for, and it's a simple example of what we can deploy. You know how templates work. You know how to apply templates to a post-page lesson or whatever you're working with. And then customize your layout a little bit. If you want to edit it, click Edit Site. You're going to see your single lesson layout. And if you want to make a different layout for a different course, you can do that. If we back out of here, we could go to Courses and Lessons, and we can actually filter by course here. So if I wanted to change the lessons in one course, I can see I have 19 lessons in this course. I would check the box, edit all of my lessons at once, all of the lessons that are filtered from being within the Quick Start course, filter only those lessons, and then bulk edit the lessons. You can change the template to whatever template you want. Maybe it's a custom one you designed specifically for the Quick Start course that may include a little sidebar or something. You can apply that template to your course. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, other videos you want to see, and I'll see you in the next video.